So we are on reading 9 of the Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. And so we're on chapter 5, and it's called The Birthday Bash. I got used to the way Fudge looked without his top front teeth. He looked like a very small first grader. Dr. Brown, our dentist, said he'd have to wait until he was 6 or 7 to get his grown-up teeth. I started calling him Fang because when he smiles, all you can see are the top 2 side teeth next to the big space. So he looks like he has fangs. My mother didn't like that. I want you to stop calling him Fang, she told me. What should I call him? I asked. Farley Drexel? Just plain Fudge would be fine. My mother said. What's wrong with Farley Drexel? I asked. How come you named him that if you don't like it? I like it fine, my mother said. But right now, we call him Fudge. Not Farley, not Drexel, and not Fang. What's wrong with Fang? I asked. I think it sounds neat. Fang is an insult. Oh, come on, Mom. He doesn't even know what a fang is. But I know, Peter, and I don't like it. Okay. I promised never to call my brother Fang again. But secretly, whenever I look at him, I think it. My brother, Fang Hatcher. Nobody can stop me from thinking. My mind is my own. Fang is going to be, Fudge is going to be 3 years old. My mother said he should have a birthday party with some of his friends. He plays with 3 other kids who live in our building. There's Jenny, Ralph, and Sam. My mother invited them to Fudge's party. Grandma said she'd come over to help. My father couldn't make it. He had a Saturday business appointment. I wanted to go to Jimmy Fargo's house, but my mother said she needed me to supervise the games. The kids were invited from 1 until 2:30. That's only an hour and a half, my mother reminded me. That's not so bad, is it, Peter? I don't know yet, I told her. Ask me later. The kitchen table was all set up for the party. The cloth and the napkins and the paperclip plates and the cups all matched. I had pictures of Superman on them. Right before the party, Grandma came. Grandma tried to change Fudge into his new suit, but he screamed his head off about it. No suit, no. My mother tried to reason with him. It's your birthday, Fudgy. All your friends are coming. You want to look like a big boy, don't you? While she was talking to him, she managed to get him into his shirt and pants, but he wouldn't let her put on his shoes. He kicked and carried on until my mother and grandmother were both black and blue. Finally, they decided as long as he was in his suit, his feet didn't matter. So he wore his old bedroom slippers. Ralph arrived first. He's really fat, and he isn't even 4 years old. He doesn't say much either. He grunts and grabs a lot, though. Usually his mouth is stuffed full of something. So the first thing Ralph did was wander into the kitchen. He looked around for something to eat, but Grandma was guarding the place. She kept telling him, no, must wait until the other children come. Jenny arrived next. She was wearing a little white gloves and party shoes. She even carried a pocketbook. Besides that, she had on dirty jeans and an old sweater. Her mother apologized for her clothes, but said she couldn't do anything with Jenny lately, especially since she had taken to biting. What does she bite? I asked, thinking about the furniture or stuff or toys. She bites people, Jenny's mother told her, but you don't have to worry about it unless her teeth get through the skin. Otherwise, she's perfectly safe. Sounds like a party, doesn't it? Whew. I thought, poor old Fudge, he can't even bite back since he doesn't have his top front teeth. I looked at Jenny. She seemed so innocent. It was hard to believe she was a vampire. Sam came last. He carried a big present for Fudge, but he was crying. It's just a stage he's going through, his mother explained. Everything scares him, even birthday parties. But he'll be fine, won't you, Sam? Sam grabbed onto his mother's leg and screamed, Take me home, take me home. Somehow, Sam's mother untangled herself from Sam's grip and left. So at 1:05, we were ready to begin. We had an eater, a biter, and a crier. I thought the 2:30 would never come. I also thought my mother was slightly crazy for dreaming up a party in the first place. Doesn't Fudge have any normal friends? I whispered. There's nothing wrong with Fudge's friends, my mother whispered back. All small children are like that. Grandma got them seated around the kitchen table. She put a party hat on each kid's head. Sam screamed, "Get it off, get it off," but the others wore their hats and didn't complain. My mother snapped a picture of them with her new camera. And then Grandma turned off the lights and my mother lit the candles on Fudge's cake. It had chocolate frosting and big yellow roses. I led the singing of Happy Birthday. My mother carried the cake across the kitchen to the party table and set it down in front of Fudge. Sam cried, "Too dark, too dark." So Grandma had to turn on the kitchen lights before Fudge blew out his candles. And when he was finished blowing, he reached out and grabbed a rose off the cake and he shoved it into his mouth. "Oh, Fudge," my mother said, "look what you did." But Grandmother said it's his birthday. He can do whatever he wants. So Fudge reached over and grabbed a second rose. I guess Fat Ralph couldn't stand seeing Fudge eat those yellow roses because he grabbed one too. And by that time, the cake looked pretty messy. My mother, finally coming to her senses, took the cake away and sliced it up. So that is the end of this reading. So get your Google form and record your summary and your biggest questions, predictions, feelings, and thoughts. Awesome.